Hello Linux lovers, my name's Wimpy. Welcome to my world. How you doing? Right, another time for a cup of tea and more StreamDeck shenanigans. So let's just get these messages out and let's get on with that. So, oh man, I really need this cup of tea today. Right then, let's just bring this up here. So, gosh, Windows in the right place. It would be good, wouldn't it? Right then, here we go. So, there's last stream I did, which was Friday last week, I was looking at a StreamDeck user interface. Hello, Navy Cat, how you doing? Which I've been using for a good while now, and has seen a bunch of updates. Good morning, welcome Yannick, welcome. Hey Popey, good morning, how you doing? This is all your fault, by the way, Popey, well done. So last Friday I was looking at the StreamDeck UI that I've been using for some long time now, which I'm just going to exit. And we pulled in some pull requests that are pending for that project to add some new features. Hello there, good morning. Making coffee, very good. Yes, I've got my my standard issue 2 mugs of tea. 2 mugs of tea in a live stream. Now Popey pointed out to me that another StreamDeck UI had been announced on Reddit, and when I looked at it, I recognized it. I had seen it some months ago, but it was really early days and it wasn't ready for use. So anyway, I thought we'll have a look at that this morning and see how it shapes up. So without further ado, let's get into here. So double T, yes, always double T. So the project is published under the organization Unix StreamDeck, and it's implemented in Go, which is good. And it comes as 2 components, a daemon, a service, which is what actually talks to the StreamDeck. It's the thing that implements the StreamDeck protocols, and then a separate UI. And the UI, also implemented in Go, talks to this daemon, which is quite an elegant solution. And in terms of the way that it's been, are we hearing me on? Yes, these are indeed Russian microphones. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Good morning. Hello Takov, welcome back. Oh, you're doing triple T. Very good, I approve. So this is the project, and I thought we'd take a little look through it. So some of this will look familiar if you've ever done anything with StreamDeck on Linux before. The first thing they want you to do is to create some udev rules and then reload those rules such that as a regular user you are able to talk to the StreamDeck over USB. Each of these lines references a different StreamDeck product. I think this is the OG StreamDeck, the Mini, the XL, and then the reissue of the StreamDeck, which is now in a revised housing. So that's all standard fare. And then it wants to use xdo tool to simulate key presses for the key press functionality. Now, as it happens, I've moved away from doing anything like that with the StreamDeck. I find that using utilities that actually poke at APIs for things is much more reliable. And then it outlines what a basic configuration looks like. So technically, you could just install this daemon and you could configure the config file by hand and, make it do things. And then it outlines here how things work. So for each button, you can run a command, you can bind to some keys, which are then passed on through xdo tool. You can open a URL. That's quite a cool one. I've got scripts that do that, so that's quite nice. Then adjust the brightness and switch pages, so you can have, multiple pages, and you can lay out. So I've got like whole pages which are just audio mixers for setting game audio at different levels and things like that. Good morning, Paul. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. And then this is where it gets a bit more interesting. So it exposes a dbus interface to get and set configuration for the individual buttons, which I thought was rather neat. And it also supports additional modules. So it has an extensible architecture, which we'll get to in a bit more detail when we go and talk about the UI component of this. So this is a... So Yannick, you can't snap StreamDeck UIs anyway, because you absolutely want to be able to execute arbitrary binaries on the system. So it would have to be a classic snap. The current StreamDeck UI that I'm using is Python based. Putting Python inside classic snaps is challenging, to say the least. Now, this being Go project, that would make a far better classic snap. But at that point, you know, once you start getting to classic snap territory for graphical things, I kind of lose a bit of interest, and I think about debs and things like that.
Thank you for the follow, Jeff the Gamer TTV1.
Thanks very much, Jeff the Gamer, and thanks for stopping by. Hey, Vital, welcome back. Oh, in fact, Vital, have I seen you here? I don't think I have. Welcome to the stream. So yes, it could be a Docker container. That's entirely feasible, certainly for separating the two. But Go binaries, the other advantage of Go binaries is that they're statically linked. So once you've built the binaries, you know, they just stand alone. So if we now just take a look at the UI component of this, it's expressly designed for Unix and Linux operating systems. And this here explains how to compile the StreamDeck daemon and then how to compile the StreamDeck UI. Now, as it turns out, this is missing a lot of information that I had to figure out. But then it says, you know, this is what it should look like. So it uses a UI toolkit called Flim or Flime. I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, which looks like it's kind of like a mobile UI type thing, a bit like Flutter, you know, but it's the first time I've encountered it. So this is as much information as we have to go on. So how did I get on? Well, I did manage to get the thing built and running. So let's just get some of that going now. So if we just zoom in here and we'll split that. That looks about the same, doesn't it? So we'll make this one small. So in a directory called StreamDeck, I decided to build all of my Go modules in here. So in the bin directory, what we have is two binaries as a result of this now. One is the StreamDeck daemon and one is the GUI. Now I have exited my existing StreamDeck. So if I run StreamDeck D interactively, there we go. It's running. I don't know why it's telling me supplied image has the wrong dimensions, but we'll run the UI and bring it up on screen. Now this is the frustrating thing. I can't actually get my... I wonder if I can get any closer. No, I can't. I'm actually constrained. Let's have a little look here. The Stream Deck's just there at the end of my finger, so we can't actually see the damn thing. But anyway, let's just go back here and we'll run up the UI. Let's go to the bin directory. So we'll run the StreamDeck UI. And I think that's appeared on the right screen. It has. So this is what the UI looks like. And it has some very interesting features because the icon handler has, I don't know how visible that is, I can't zoom this, but the icon handler can be default, which appears to support JPEGs and pings. And then GIF, which was obviously something I was messing around with last week, adding GIF support to the one that I currently use. But then this is an interesting one called time. And if I just save that and hit preview, what I can now see on my Stream Deck is it's displaying a clock in that button, which increments each second, which is a feature of the sort of Stream Deck protocol that the other tool that I use doesn't support. But there is an old crusty PR that somebody put together to add this capability, but it never got merged. There's then a counter. So if let's put the counter here. I don't know. I'm just going to push the button. Okay, I'm not sure what that does then. So I think some of this stuff is not fully implemented yet. And then this is an interesting one. There's one here called Spotify, and I will add that and save it, and then I hit preview. And what I can now see on my Stream Deck is the cover art for the song that's currently playing is now the icon on the Stream Deck. And so these are all implemented as modules to the GUI, which I think is a great sort of demonstration of where this could go, because now people can write their own modules rather than having to contribute to the sort of the actual UI tool. You can just write modules to do particular things in the same way that Stream Deck, the official Stream Deck on Windows and Mac OS work. Third parties can provide their modules to do all sorts of interesting integrations. So there's an awful lot to like about this. The fact that it's implemented in Go, it's relatively easy to build, it's easy to run and redistribute. So I like it. But then there's a whole bunch of reasons why I can't use it right now. So we'll just get into that very quickly. Also on the key press configuration, all of this is great. The way that the Stream Deck works is all of these things that have values in them can be executed on a key press. So you can open a URL, switch a page, send a key press, run a command, change the brightness of the button. You can do a whole bunch of things. I don't usually do multiple things. Usually it's as much as executing a command and possibly switching the page as well. Now, the reason why I can't use this, if I just go to the icon configuration, one of the features in the other UI that I use that landed recently, which really made it so much easier to configure, was the ability to drag and drop graphics onto these buttons in order to give the buttons an icon. It sped up the time it takes to configure these things just immeasurably. But with this, it's select the icon. So this is back to, how it used to be with the other one. But the problem is here, this window can't be moved or resized, and it doesn't integrate with the underlying graphical toolkit. So any bookmarks I may have to where I keep my Stream Deck icons to speed up that file selection process are not there. So I have to go through, quite a long-winded process of getting to my place where I keep my icons in order to pick them. So this is a massive retrograde step for me, and it's enough that I'm just not going to use this at the moment. But what I am going to do is file a in fact, that was the other thing. If you look at this as we navigate, let's go back in a couple deep. So you can see here, Home Martin Dropbox, Documents, Martin, Home. I can't see where I am. I can't actually easily change my navigable path back here. So this is all just a little bit too clunky, that's like the biggest showstopper for me. Actually putting the icons on this thing is a massive pain. If all you wanted to do was put some text in, then that's just fine. You can say default, you can specify some text here, and we'll put that.
Thank you for the follow, 87EY.
87EY, thanks very much. Thanks for joining the stream. I'll put that at the bottom, and I can now see that text. You can see it in the preview here, and if I save that and hit preview, it updates the StreamDeck accordingly. So if you just wanted to put text on things, you know, that's entirely doable, but configuring the buttons as well. Hey Drix, thanks very much. So yeah, that's kind of where it is, and it's a little bit like, well, it's good, but the icon selection thing really needs some work. So let's have a look here. What have we got here? Morning, Graham. Put sim links in your home. Yeah, I could do that. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, okay, we could think about that. I'll get on to some other drawbacks in just a moment. So Graham says, morning, just arrived. No, this is built in Go using the Flim or Flimey, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, Flim toolkit, which is Flutter-like in that it's sort of a mobile-like toolkit. No, so Popey, I think that they've implemented literally their own file picker. I don't think they've got any intention of integrating with native stuff. It is like its own thing, which is why I say it's like Flutter. It's like its own paradigm. So Graham goes on to ask, I wonder if you could get lots of icons in quickly by finding. Yes, so Graham, this is a great idea and something that I considered doing. I thought that if I like laid out, let's imagine we do this. Okay, so let's change this. We'll do, let's do volume 10%, for example. And then we go into this one and we do volume 20%. And then in this one, let's add an icon. Let's do Popey's idea. Let's do ln not sync thing. Let's do Dropbox documents, not 8-bit verses. Remember that, Popey? YouTube. StreamDeck. And which icons is it that I use? I think it's standard, clarity, icons. There we go. And then we'll just call this SD icons. Oh. Silly boy. So we'll speed up things by doing it with Popey's suggestion. So now I should have SD icons somewhere here. Hello? No, what have I just done? Oh, fiddle. I did not mean to do that. I've just symlinked that inside there, haven't I? Yeah. Okay, well, let's just use its actual name then. Oop. Right then. Okay, there we go. So if we go back to the UI now, get rid of that. So I should, and let's arrange that to the bottom and then this to the bottom as well. and then put a single icon in here, which is going to be, whoop, okay, standard. Mind you, this is the next problem. There's like a bazillion icons in these folders, and you can't see previews of them. Yeah, okay. This is going to be, I can't remember the name, but I'll pick one at random. There we go. It's put an icon on there, and if I hit save and preview, yep, I can see the Stream Deck has those things on it. So it's just a bit too jank. So yeah, I think I'm going to file an issue on this one about the actual, placing the icons. But so the other issue that I've had with this is that it has crashed a couple of times. Like adding panels. The first time I tried that segfaulted. And let's try running a button. Let's put a key press in here. Let's just put the command true, because it won't do very much, but then run that button. I mean, I suppose that does something. Don't see. Okay. Will that work? I don't think it will it? We'll need. Let's do that instead and save that and push the button. Well, okay, it's not dumping it into the logs, which is fair enough. So anyway, so it's been a little bit unstable. So anyway, if we just save that, in fact, let's leave a command in there. Let's leave true in there. In fact, let's put it on this one with the icon, because then we can see what the command looks like, and we'll save that. Hit preview to update what I can see. So I've just closed the UI down, and I think it's in a, yeah, so it's not StreamDeck config. That's the current tool that I have been using. I think it's this one. Okay. No, that is my actual current Stream Deck, so therefore it must be config. Oh, it's they've made it readable. Anyway, so here we can see, let's just open that in an editor. I wonder if anyone knows how to do this. Does anyone know how to optimize JSON? Format document. Is that in here? Just format document, edit. Nope. Selection view. I can't see it for looking. Pipe it through JQ. Okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea, Popey. Okay, there we go. So now we can see what it looks like. Nice one, Popey. Good idea. So yes, we could come in here. We can see that there are, well, pages is null, which is curious. Hasn't got my serial number for the Stream Deck in there, which is odd given that it's here. Anyway, here's an icon definition, and we've got the path to the icon, the label, and the alignment. And that's on the pages. So, but where's my, it doesn't, I don't see the actual command that's being saved in there. Anyway, so that's not quite the complete solution, is it? So as you can see, it's not the finished article, but it's very close, and it's certainly been put together in a way that I think would make it very interesting. So Graham says Control P, then format doc. So I'm going to learn how to do this. Control P, form. No. Control Shift P and format document, which is some Control Shift I or L. There we go. So yeah, this doesn't actually have everything in it, but it does have the icon path, so that's good. So I suppose it would be possible to run up the UI again. And add a couple of pages. Let's add 10 pages. And then go back and go to this one and the key press config. Here we go. This was the sort of thing I've run into, that now this part of the UI is unresponsive, so I can't actually configure things because it stopped responding. So this was something else I bumped into earlier as well. So I know it's been doing around at the moment, but it's not quite ready for prime time. No, I don't think there is. No. Oh, there we go. Not responding. It's actually come back as it knows it's dead. So there we go. So there's a lot of promise there. I'm particularly interested in the extensible nature of it. I think that could be very interesting, particularly, you know, if somebody wanted to sort of make, because there is a Go library for talking to the OBS WebSocket. So, you know, my first thought is a module that speaks to OBS directly would just be absolutely fantastic. There are Go modules that speak to the Twitch API, so, you know, it could become something amazing. But it's a bit too green at the moment, but it's definitely a project that I'm sure the developers would appreciate some help working on, because it's got packs of potential, and I much prefer the way it's been put together than the Python one, which is, it's a bit spaghetti codey, difficult to work with. So Graham says potentially I vaguely recall that you can overwrite hints. Don't resize this dialogue. Yeah, I think that in actual fact what's happening is that file picker is constrained to the boundaries of the parent window. In fact, no, it's not, because I tested this. It just comes up really small and you can't resize it. So yeah, I think they're like single surfaces rather than windows in the traditional sense. You know, a lot like Flutter is at the moment, or at least until the multi-window stuff gets implemented. Anyway, that was it. I wanted to have a look at that, and I thought I'd share what I'd learned. I suppose the other thing I can share is, well, how did I get there? Because actually, if you follow the instructions on the GitHub, you won't actually build anything at all. So I knocked up this, which is kind of done. So the first thing is stuffing out the udev rules. That's straightforward enough. And then in order to build the daemon, you need Golang, obviously, and you need libusb. Xdo tool I'm just installing because that's a runtime requirement. And then you just go get that project and it will compile and build. By default, it will build in your home directory Go and put the binaries in Go bin. But I actually compiled it by hand just prior to doing the stream to deposit it in its own directory. And then I haven't tested this, but this was my next idea, was to then start the daemon as a systemd unit for the user, so that when you log in, this will be started with the user session, so that the daemon is there, you know, waiting and listening for you to attach a GUI to. And then in terms of compiling the GUI, you need a whole bunch of X and GL development headers. And I got this by looking at the Flim project to see what their examples said for building the example apps on Ubuntu. And this is what was required, with the exception of this, which appears to be a particular requirement of this StreamDeck UI. And then you just go get it and it will compile and build it. And then I started looking at, well, how to create a desktop file so that we can, you know, see it in the menus. So that was as far as I got. But once I'd got to the point where I could run it, and I kind of worked out that, well, you know, configuring this thing is buggy and, you know, difficult, I kind of fell off the interest train at that point and decided that, you know, I'd probably stick with the other tool, which has got pretty much most of what I need in it now. That's right. Thanks. The Crimson Peon, is that? Crimson Peon? Yes, GLFW3 is a window manager, kind of, basically creating windows and is cross-platform. Yeah, so I've seen this before in another project. It was that Sonobus, is that what it was called? It's a sort of a real-time audio collaboration tool, so that you can do internet music, use the internet as the medium to jam with other musicians, is the principal purpose for it. But that runs across mobile and desktop, and it uses, yeah, Sonobus, yeah. And it doesn't use Flyme, but it uses another one of these GL rendered UI toolkits that also uses brain, come on, processing this GLFW3, which I'm not super familiar with. I've only encountered it a couple of times. So I'll raise some tickets to sort of request drag and I think just drag and drop for the icons would be a huge step forward. But then, given that the command configuration piece, the key command configuration piece, just hangs and doesn't actually spit out any errors, I'm not quite sure how I sort of convey it doesn't work in a meaningful, useful way. So I'll have to have a think about that. I need to try and find a way to make a more useful bug report on that one. And the Crimson Peon goes on to say, it's like SDL. Right, okay, well, that makes more sense. I'm not familiar with SFML. What's that? A link to a video snippet might help them. Yeah, I mean, I can explain that, you know, eventually it just locks up and, you know, eventually it will, you know, get reaped by the OS, but I know that they've got debug flags, so maybe I will, mind you, that's for the daemon as opposed to the UI. So yeah, I'll have to have a poke around and see if I can extract some more useful information, because bug reports are only useful if they're of a good quality. Oh, Mark. Good morning, and thanks very much for the sub. So have they done any stable releases? So this is the first release ever, and it's a 1.0. And like I say, I did look at it a long time ago, at the turn of the year, maybe January, December time. And at that point, their GitHub README was very much written in a way that said, don't try this right now. You know, it was really early days. But I remember looking at it thinking, oh, this could be interesting. So it's nice to see that they've got, I mean, they've clearly come a long way, right? It works when it works. But it definitely just needs a little bit of refinement. I mean, if the icon thing could be fixed up and it was reliable, if I could just drag and drop icons and the key command thing was reliable, I could totally switch over to it. There would be I'd have no problem with doing that at all. But yeah, I will engage with the project. I was surprised because it seemed to get quite a lot of, I've had several people ping this at me over the last few days. So clearly people have seen it, but there's been no activity in the GitHub project as a result. So I've not seen, so I may contribute like a build guide for Ubuntu, because they don't have any of this, you know, extra stuff in here. They probably take this for granted. The project is maintaining PKG builds in the AUR, but again, they've made assumptions that because they're the developers, they obviously know these things need to be installed. None of these dependencies are listed in the AUR PKG builds either. So if you were on an install of Arch that doesn't have development headers for Xorg, then it wouldn't build and compile. You know, it is missing fundamental pieces. So maybe I'll contribute some docs for how to get going on Ubuntu with this, which might be helpful for them. Anyway, there it is. Another StreamDeck tool. This one's interesting. There's also another StreamDeck tool coming as well, or something that integrates with the StreamDeck. So I don't think they're in the chat today, but Mr. Greggles, who's he's on Twitch here. He's a drummer, does music live streams, but has the most overkill OBS special effects you can imagine, including bullet time cameras that the viewers can trigger, which uses an array of 56 cameras in an arc in front of the drum kit. He's doing some sophisticated stuff with OBS, even like MIDI triggered events and things like that. It turns out that he and his team have been working on a bit of software called Aitum for about 18 months now. And it's due for release in about 4 weeks. And it's going to be subscription based. I think it's going to be like £4 a month. But it's been developed on Linux, and it will work on Linux, Mac and Windows. And it's a UI to do basically a graphically configured Twitch bot that integrates with OBS and MIDI events and a couple of other things. So they've been working on it a long time. And he did a live stream a few weeks ago where he basically did his whole studio setup using this Aitum software, and it looks like the real deal. So when that comes along, that I think is going to be a big deal, because I've been wanting to integrate some sort of interactive features with channel points and things like that on Twitch. And I nearly got into writing my own Twitch bot, which if you look in the software and game development category on Twitch right now, you will always find somebody writing a Twitch bot. And I was like, I don't want to write another one of these. You know, people are writing these all the time. So Aitum's coming, which is a graphically configurable Twitch bot and StreamDeck integrated and OBS integrated thing. And I'm like, okay, this looks... So I'm waiting patiently for that, and I'm going to be a signed up user of that as soon as it's available to the public. UK Mad Lads, that be me. So your mic, right? Is that right? Have I got that right? I think it is. How you doing? So I'm looking forward to Aitum. Let's just go back down here. If anyone's interested, there's a stealth website for it at the moment. So this is their Twitter, and then Aitum TV is the not doing anything yet website. So that's it. You can find out more about it here. And then Mr. Greggles is on Twitch over here. And I'll just mute this because I know it's going to do its thing. Okay. So there we go. The most recent video on his channel, I think, is starting at about 8 minutes in. Oh, I see, Mike. About 8 minutes into this stream, he starts going through the showing Aitum and configuring it, and he's got one of his developers, David, who I've been talking to, on as an audio guest, and David is talking through like what's implemented, what's in the newer version that Greg isn't running yet, and what will be in the 0.9 release that they're gonna, go public with. Yes, Mike. So yeah, okay, I understand your reference now. Yes, it's Mike. Hello, Mike. I thought so. So Popey, UK Mad Lads here, Mike, is a friend of Axe, as in, regional friend, lives nearby, sees him at events and things. So yeah, you're building bots and overlay junk on stream. Yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it? So yeah, so I need to get more alert. I need to get better alerts from Twitch so I can see when people are doing this stuff, because I'm definitely missing out on things. So right, well, I think that was kind of what I wanted to go through today. That there is a new thing. It is fun and interesting. Let's just, oh gosh, let's get on the right virtual screen, shall we? Let's pull that out here. Okay, let's see who's doing stuff. We've got, right, okay, we've got Togglebit. We did them the other day. Pair programming on a charity project in Java. Just seeing if there's anyone here doing anything that our crew might be interested in. WordPress, game dev. Oh, there's me. I want to try and get better at, raiding other channels that are doing interesting stuff. Unreal Engine. Janky coding. Oh, that sounds like my kind of style. No, I'm not seeing. I think we'll do the same as we did last time. So let's just do this. Okay. Right then. Thanks very much for the sub. Thanks, Bitbeamer. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. Right then, let's we'll head over and raid Togglebit. Okay. We'll do this thing in just a moment. So thanks very much for coming, everyone. I hope that you got some value out of that. We've taken a look at that new UI. I'll be taking advantage of that. I'll be getting involved upstream just to raise issues. I'm not going to get into coding. I absolutely don't have time for that. But I would like to see another viable StreamDeck UI for Linux. Absolutely. So I might be streaming tomorrow morning. I do stream most mornings, UK time. I do have one weird errand to do in the morning, so that might delay me, so it might be a bit later. But I'll definitely be streaming on Friday, and on Thursday afternoon we're going to be streaming over on Slim DevOps again, Peter and I. We're doing another containers workshop. The one we're doing this time is being requested, which is looking at Docker volumes, so how to access data outside your container from within the container. So this is part of our 101 series for people that are brand new to containers and Docker and all the rest of it, and they want to sort of skill up. We've done 2 of those now. I think they're both still on Twitch, so over on Slim DevOps on Twitch and on our YouTube channel, where we archive all the past live streams. Right then, Yannick is saying, could we stream tonight? We could actually. Yeah, okay, Yannick, let's talk about that. We could do the track and car selection for the upcoming Grand Prix. So we also do a hot shot racing league on this channel, mostly on Sunday nights. Due to birthday celebrations, I couldn't do it this week. But we've got a new league on the offing, and Yannick has 3D printed trophies. So it's serious. It's serious business this time. So yeah, we could do that this evening or tomorrow evening, but you and I need to sync up because I know you've been working on some videos and stuff as well, which we need to get integrated. Right, thanks everyone. And we should be moved over, I think. Bye-bye.